Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're all having a great morning so far. Sunshine coming our way.
Should be.
Fingers crossed.
Clouds have rebuilt over the studio. I say that hesitantly, but I fully expect we'll clear it out. All the model data, all the, and when I get to this building at 1 a.m., I spend 3 hours digging into data before I ever go on air, or a good 2.5 anyway, and then doing other stuff. There's a lot of information to sort through, and the more time you spend digging into that data, typically the more accurate your forecast will be once you get on air. And generally the bulk of the data all supporting those clouds easing out of here mid-late morning inland, and then midday early afternoon out on the coast. So my confidence is high based on everything I looked at this morning that we'll get it out. Once in a while you get burned. I mean, you know, if you've been watching weather long enough, you're never going to be right 100% of the time. But I feel good about where we're headed. Forecasting some mid-70s later, and we're going to get chillier tomorrow and Friday. We're going to drop those numbers back down. In fact, the coldest air thus far this season is coming, so I'll dig into that. We'll talk weekend weather. I got some events I want to dig into. Lots of stuff to cover for you coming up just a little bit.
Yeah, a lot going on. We're really just in the swing of fair season and so many other things, and it's been really nice here, I think, in Eastern Carolina. The weather's been feeling really good. Yeah. I've been enjoying these pretty comfortable temperatures, especially when it's, you know, 60s, 70s. You talking about potential 40s? Don't know if I love the sound of that yet. yeah,
and we're not talking frost yet. It'll be a few more weeks, but it'll be chilly. Tomorrow morning, more so Friday morning and Saturday morning, and there still is that chance for a stray 38 or 39 to sneak in, I think, early on Friday morning. So I'll talk about that. We'll kind of dig into those numbers. But again, no frost yet. A few more weeks before we start going there. And the clouds, I think the big news today really is just getting some sunshine back. It's been a few days of overcast skies. We need a little shot of sunshine. We don't live in Seattle. We'll get some of that going as we go through the day today.
All right, awesome. Before we dive into the rest of your forecast, Jim, we do have a story from yesterday. Well, actually, tomorrow begins the early voting period for many places across our state. And we spoke with a few election officials down in Beaufort County just about the way that they're preparing for the upcoming early voting period as well as Election Day come November. Basically just making sure that their machines, everything that counts the ballots is ready to go, any kind of contingency plans in place, things along those lines. So we're going to take a look and listen to some of the preparations that are currently in place and have been in place actually for the last few months.
Sounds good.
It's election season and preparations are well underway at the Beaufort County Board of Elections office.
So we've been preparing specifically for the municipal election since July.
With early voting beginning Thursday, thousands of residents will soon be marking their ballots and placing them in here. The election systems and software machine to be counted. It's a system Director of Elections Kelly Harris Hopkins says they use in every election. Tuesday, she spent the day testing the machines, using a predetermined test deck to determine if there's an issue with its coding.
And then we seal them down once we know that they're working correctly and seal them so that nothing can be tampered with prior to the election.
The machines can catch mistakes, like if voters choose too many candidates, leave sections blank, or try to insert multiple ballots, making it important to ensure they work properly. Employee Clark Pollard says many don't realize the amount of work that goes into election prep.
Like everybody, I think you go in, cast your vote, and then you go about your way and you don't really think about it. But when you work here, there's a ton of stuff that goes on every day to make the vote happen.
Work doesn't seem to stop in the elections office as they gear up for an even busier couple of weeks.
And we've seen a continuous rise in the numbers and the percentages of people that are voting early.
Yeah, so a lot of preparations in place that have been in the works for several months. I think they said since July. So a lot going into this. Voting starts tomorrow and it'll be open every weekday up until November 1st. I believe November 1st is the final day of early voting before Election Day. So just check in with your polling places, your county, just to make sure that you have everything that you need to go. And also really important to follow the instructions. As you saw in that story, they use those machines to count the ballots. So anything that you may, if you're filling in too many candidates, if you're leaving sections blank, those machines catch it and can cause a few different complications. So really important that you follow the directions, and just it'll make the process a lot smoother if you do.
Yeah, and the way passions are running in politics, the last thing anybody wants is issues with
Right.
voting equipment or ballots or anything else. So hopefully everything goes smoothly there. I'm going to dig right in. I'm not going to touch
Yeah,
too much on
we
that.
have a
but
lot
I'm
to
gonna,
talk about.
I'm going to dig into the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of details to get into. And really, all the news is generally good weather-wise. We've got no pending tropical systems, no big storms out there. It is going to get chilly as we get to late week. Let's go over to a live look outside the studio right now. I would say that's jacket worthy. 55, or as I like to say, double nickel as you head out right now. And that's a common inland number, that 55. Many of you solidly right around that mid 50 degree mark out the door. You'll feel it. You're going to walk out and say, yep, I need long sleeves, a light jacket, something as I head out, and a little breeze as well, adding to that chill, if you will, in the air. This is great fair weather, though. Oslo County, the fair kicked off yesterday. It will continue. Opens at 4 p.m. today. Continues through Saturday. They'll be open all day Saturday. Pick a day, any day. The weather's going to be great down there through Saturday and Sunday, for that matter. This afternoon into the evening, temp low 70s, mid to low 70s, 60s at 8 p.m. under clear skies. All goes according to plan. I think it will. And then the big canine crawl. All you dog lovers, this is a huge event coming up this weekend, Sunday to be exact. It'll take place from noon to 3 p.m. Big change this year. This has been at the town common for the last few decades. Not this year. Wildwood Park in Greenville, north side of Greenville. Again, noon Sunday to 3 p.m. The big dog walk, which is an amazing sight. Hundreds of dogs all walking together. It's about a 1 mile walk, and the weather's going to be perfect. Mid 70s, more sun than clouds, a little breezy, south winds at about 15 or so, and a ton of great dog vendors, food out there as well. Every dime they take in on Sunday goes back to help those dogs in need of homes down there at the Humane Society. So head on out, bring Fido this Sunday. Weather's going to be great. Great folks, great organization, great fundraiser. Headlines today, we're looking good. Sunshine finally coming back across all of eastern NC as we push those highs into the mid 70s this afternoon. Again, right now we're in the 50s. It's a little chilly, or cool, I'll call it. Chilly tomorrow morning, but a nice warm finish this afternoon. Let's take a look at the satellite radar. So that cloud to clear line, pretty sharp boundary from, I would say, central Pitt County. If you're in Farmville, it's probably clear. Grimesland and Greenville, I've got clouds over the studio right now, but you don't have to go far west before you hit the drier air and the clear skies. And that cloud line will likely start easing back eastward as we go through mid-late morning into the afternoon. All right, where the skies are clear, 50s. Where the clouds are locked in, low 60s to mid 60s along the coast. And again, the breeze blowing at about 10 out of the north. Afternoon high, seasonable, maybe just a touch above normal for this time of the year, around 74, 75 later today. Good stuff, maybe some 77 degree highs back by I-95 this afternoon. There's the winds right now. We're gusting 20s on the coast. Coastal flood warnings are discontinued for all areas. Coastal flood advisory continues today, tonight, and tomorrow for the Outer Banks and eastern Carteret County sound side, as those sound waters continue to feel the influence of that north wind. Tomorrow the winds are going to bump back up. We may go back to a warning tomorrow if it gets windy enough. Watch those winds. I'll show you where we're headed. This afternoon, these are maximum winds at any given time, 4 p.m. Max winds, upper teens, while inland, mid-20s on the coast. Tonight, a cold front comes in. You get a surge of northerly winds driving in behind the front. Watch midnight to sunrise, winds crank up. And then tomorrow, midday into the afternoon, we're hitting 25 inland, we're hitting 35 on the coast. Winds ramp back up tomorrow. I don't think we'll see a wind advisory, but with 60s and the wind blowing like that, it'll be a cool day tomorrow with a high in the mid-60s. You can see that, the mid-70s this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, when the sun peaks up over the horizon around 7:15, 50 degrees, average inland temp. Yep, some 40s while inland tomorrow morning, I think. A good bet, and then we'll stay shy of 70 tomorrow afternoon. All right, we'll show you that big map. I mentioned the front coming in. Right now, that front is up near, I would say, the Hudson Valley in New York, back into central PA, but it's making steady, rapid southward progress. Rolls down the I-95 corridor through North Carolina tonight, and then rolling southbound tomorrow. So we get on the cooler side of the front tomorrow and Friday. See that warm air back over the mid-Mississippi River Valley? That's headed eastbound this weekend, Friday into Saturday. So watch it head back towards our backyards. There's Friday, still cool. Big storm off the coast out there, but it's moving further away. Don't worry about that. Saturday, I'll throw a warm back on there. 70s return because of that change in wind direction to the south. And we'll keep that going Sunday with the great weather for the K9 crawl. Front approaches Sunday, but it doesn't get here not until after sunset in all likelihood. All that rain you see on that front, a lot of that won't survive the trip, it looks like, into our backyards. I do expect some rain Sunday night when that front comes through, but I'm not seeing a ton right now. Quick look at the national temp map, and again, temps cooling towards the 40s later this week. See the 30s to the north there, Intermountain West. By the way, Sierra Nevada just had 1 to 2 feet of snow back in California and around Lake Tahoe. Unbelievable. There's your 8-day forecast. The mid-70s today. Tomorrow and Friday, I'll get more into the Pirate game when we come back at 8 a.m. 67 for afternoon highs tomorrow and Friday. Overnight lows. Chilliest night looks like Thursday night. Friday night will challenge, though. Low to mid-40s inland, and then we'll ease up into the 70s this weekend. Right now, my best rain chance the next 8 days, Sunday night, 40%, not much, but a few raindrops coming through, and we'll dip the highs back down to the low 70s early next week. So no 30s yet. Also, when we come back at 8, I'll show you guys when we see our typical first freeze of the season. We're not far away from it. We'll get into those dates coming up as well at 8.
Yeah, Jim, I told you on air this morning, I can't believe we're already talking about the potential for frost and freeze coming up. I feel like just a few weeks ago we were talking about 80s, 90s, that building temperatures, those building temperatures that we talked about all summer long. Now we're talking about frost, freeze. I mean, snow in other parts of the country, hopefully not here, but...
Not yet.
Not yet.
But who knows? Maybe as we get into December, if we continue the pattern, we've had a pattern of generally at or below normal temps for the last several weeks, and that pattern looks like it'll continue over the next week or two. If we can stay with this dip in the jet stream, we call it, as we head into winter, it would increase the chances for snow.
Okay.
It still doesn't look like, you know, I mean, it's eastern NC. Some years we never get any snow.
Right.
We average 4, 5, 6 inches through the course of the winter. So I'm not even going to speculate this far out, though. But you're right. Getting colder fast. Won't be long before we have frost on the pumpkins.
Jackets ready to go. All right. Well, thank you, Jim, for the update. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. Just want to say hello and good morning to Faye and George in our comments on Facebook. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be back again at 8 o'clock for another news and weather update. Hope you can join us then.
Bye, guys.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.